Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome tonight with our free lectures or free session. We are going to speak about extension of time claims and delay analysis. This is the second lecture in the course. We started last week in this topic. It was like a general lecture, and the main topics gonna be discussed in this course. And we give examples for concurrent delays and fragment and some major or basic contents and delay analysis. We started for differentiation between retrospective and prospective. Tonight, we will continue what we have started last week with engineer Mohammed Magid. He will continue explaining the extension of time claims. This lecture is a part of 7 or 8 continuous lectures for delay analysis. I just don't want to prolong the introduction. I will jump into the course content and the outlines, so I will make room for Engineer Mohammed Magid to enjoy us tonight with his knowledge. Let's start the share screen. The objective of the course, or the course target audience, we will talk about the awareness of the legal and the technical perspective of the international delay analysis approaches and the applicability of them with practice on real case studies of different types of extension of time claims. Why you should attend? The course will cover the technical and the contractual aspects required to develop a robust extension of time claim with appropriate content, which will be helpful for the constants to review and analyze such a claim producing failed determination. Who should attend? Planning engineer, project control managers, contract administrator, commercial manager, and all project management professional dealing with or interested in extension of time claims. And from my side, I can add that everyone who's working on claims, even if you are a lawyer or working in some jurisdiction or whatsoever, you would like to get more information regarding how engineers apply extension of time claims and determine what is the cause and the effect of the delays and who's responsible and what is the quantum of the delay, including the prolongation. So this is the objectives of the course and the benefits. The attendee will acquire the following knowledge and skills: knowing the international classification of the delay analysis approaches, gaining the skills of delay quantification by using multiple techniques, identifying the steps required to implement delay analysis, distinguishing of the consequences of the different types of recognizing the content required to submit a proper claim. The outlines, we will talk about the type of delay and consequences regarding the delay identification and types of float and delay indicators, prolongation cost, delay consequences, analysis perspective from RICS and delay analysis categories and source data, AACE and SCL, of course. We will study AACE RB 29 and 30, I believe, and SCTL, Society of Construction Law, forensic schedule analysis, and finally, Society of Construction Law Protocol regarding the extension of time, purpose, recommendation, and methods, and finally, the concurrency and disruption. With you, Engineer Muhammad Hussein and Engineer Muhammad Magid will continue. We will just give a brief from his resume so we can go with him. His education is in Master in Construction Law, Salford University, Manchester, UK, and Master of Business Administration from University of Bible. He had a lot of researches and publication, legal consequences of concurrent delay under UK jurisdiction, and fundamentals of construction contracts, Arabic and as per Egyptian civil law. And that's it for now. Let's not prolong the introduction. Engineer Muhammad Magid, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for the introduction.
Okay, the mic will be with you. Any question regarding the apply in the course and subscription will be added in the chat and comments. For our colleagues who is listening to us via LinkedIn or Facebook. If you want to join us via Zoom, just write Zoom in the comments and we will send you the invitation link. Okay, Engineer Muhammad, you can go from on.
Okay, thank you. Today we'll continue what we started last week. We started with in the first session with the introduction about the course content and what we'll discuss, the references, the topics we'll discuss. Today we'll go to the classification of delay analysis or delay analysis perspectives. We will see from multiple references how they classify the delay analysis approaches from multiple international references. We'll discuss the delay analysis classifications. We will find a wide types and different methodologies even of classification. We'll open the RICS, Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, Extension of Time, Professional Guidance. And also we'll see the delay analysis methods inside it. We'll go to the extension of time and delay analysis source data. We'll open the main references of the course and mainly the introduction to the ACE recommended practice, which will be the technical references for the course. We'll discuss, as Engineer Muhammad introduced, we'll discuss it from the technical perspective and legal perspective, mainly from ACE recommended practices for the technical perspective and from site of construction law protocol for the legal perspective. That's why these are the main references. The other references will use also the RICS. It's a simple reference for this professional guidance from RICS. The scheduled delay analysis from American Society of Civil Engineers. The ACE recommended practice, 2 recommended practice, 29 R03 and 52 R06. The first one for the retrospective forensic schedule analysis, and 52 is for the prospective time impact analysis, and the legal references, the Site of Construction Law Delay and Disruption Protocol, second edition, Feb 2017. We'll not only use these references, there are additional references we're going to use and open also today. Delay analysis and construction contracts, construction delays, extensions of time and prolongation claims, causation and delay in construction disputes, liquidated damages, and extension of time. We'll start with one of these references. It includes a classification of the extension of time called interim and final extension of time. So I don't want you to be confused about, we will open many references, we'll go to many classifications, and at the end of the session, we'll see the main references and the classification we'll use in the rest of the course. But first, we want to know what's happening around the world, how our references and international entities are classifying the delay analysis and what they are calling even the methods and approaches in the delay analysis. So this first reference is the first reference is classifying it to interim and final extension of time. It's considering the prospective delay analysis as interim because it's happening during the construction. So we can have extension, an interim one, an interim claim, and then another interim claim until we complete the project. So this is it's called here in this reference interim extension of time, as it is prospective delay analysis. It's not a common name for the prospective. The common name is the prospective delay analysis itself. The other One is the retrospective, and it is final after the completion of construction. So it comes after the fact, after the delay occurs, and also its effect happened and completed. Here in this reference, we have other categories for the delay analysis. One is called additive, and this is general. It's called here the general approach is additive. The primary methods under the additive is the impacted as planned and time impact analysis, because in both approaches here you have the schedule and then you add a fragment to it. As we defined, the fragment in the previous lecture is subset of activities. It's related to the event, and we needed to add to the program and link with the program to get the impact of this event. And the second category or general approach is subtractive, and under it there is a method of collapsed as built. So here you will build an as-built program, and then you collapse it and remove and subtract the activities related to the event or the effect of the event, the impact of it, and then you can quantify the impact and the extension of time entitlement. The third one is the analytical. You compare as planned versus as built. Another classification is to classify to theoretical based methods and actual based method. The theoretical based method, one of them includes global impact. If you have like increase in the scope of work, you directly proportion this increase. You increase the scope of work by 10%, so you increase the project duration and extend it by 10% of the original duration. It's called here global impact method. As planned impacted method, which analyze the delay based on the original baseline without consideration of any mistakes in the baseline. As built, but for or collapsed as built, it relies on the as built program to demonstrate and analyze the delay events. The actual based methods here to compare the as planned versus as built. So you have data and comparing both together. And here it's considered as simple and visible approach. You can do it in a window or the total project. Window snapshots or update methods. Instead of having the as-built program, you have the updates and comparing with the updates or creating the updates from the progress reports or the progress records and comparing with the planned in Windows as they are updates. Whether either these windows are equal, like monthly, or not equal. This duration doesn't include this much events, so you can skip this duration, compare 3 months, and then you go for 1 month, and based on the occurrence of events during the project. Impact update, a similar approach. It's addressing the mitigation and concurrently. Here, these are the actual based methods. So you can have here like a third type of classification of delay analysis. If you can recall now, we classified by 3 methods. The first one, we said prospective and retrospective, and that's it. The second approach went to categories, general category, and then the methods inside it. The third classification is the theoretical and the actual based. The fourth classification we'll find now in RICS. RICS classified it in a different manner. In the RICS extension of time professional guidance, first edition by if a delay occurs caused by employer event, then in general the contractor will be entitled to extension of time. This is not always a straightforward consequence, the entitlement, but in general may be entitled to an extension of time. To decide this entitlement and quantify the extension of time, you need to use delay analysis approaches. Some of them are straight and some of them are difficult and complicated. As usual, RICS for any competency or any skill, they go for 3 levels. The first level is knowing, and in the knowing level, they discuss the costs of delay, liquidated damages, prolongation, or time-related costs. In the second level of doing and experience and implementing, they discuss the measurement of delay, how to measure the delay, and how to analyze it, the methods of delay analysis. In the third level, consideration and advising, they discussed which method should be adopted. So you need to advise your client for the appropriate method, strength and weakness for each method. So you have factors to select the method, and you need to know when you select a method the strength and weakness of each method. And the concurrent liability of delay based on the contract and law to define the consequences of in case of having concurrent delay. The measurement of delay, it's important here to refer to the contract and the contractual completion date. Either you are doing it retrospective from the actual completion date and checking the entitlement, or prospective to forecast determine the projected completion date and the entitlement. It's important to agree on a benchmark program. To have a program you are using in the delay analysis, if you agree on it, it's always, if you agree on something in the delay analysis, you need to agree on the program you will use. You need to agree on the method. Once you agree, the second steps or the coming steps will be easier. Or at least you decrease the points you will argue, or you have its potential disputes, and instead of coming a potential dispute. Methods of delay analysis, as we are focusing today on the classification of delay analysis and methods of delay analysis, we want to see the 4th classification from RICS, how they classify the delay analysis approaches. The first classification is simple and relatively simple approaches. The first simple approach is the overview of the facts. Sometimes you have it straightforward claims, like you did a full suspension of the project. You suspended, the employer suspended the project, total suspension for a certain period. So it's very simple and straightforward. You don't need to have a program and have the analysis. It's straightforward. It's a complete suspension of the project. Then you grant, the employer has to grant the contractor the duration of the full suspension as an extension of time. And in some cases, for example, here in Saudi regulations, they add a time for remobilization. Not only they provide the full time of suspension as an extension of time, they add also a additional duration to the extension of time to allow the contractor to remobilize again and continue the work. Comparing actual and the planned progress. So this is relatively simple, not a very simple one. It's comparing the activities using the contemporaneous documents to review the reasons of discrepancy and delay. And it can be a relatively simple or simple approach in case of simple program simple events and not a complex case. In a complex case, it's not easy to compare all discrepancies and delays in the project. The other classification is detailed, forensic, and more reliable approaches. Critical path analysis. Then you go deeply in the program, you analyze the critical path and the relationships and the activities. Either you are doing it prospective or retrospective, or using an as-built program. Focused methods of analysis, you focus on a certain period. So you're using update, prospective time impact analysis, or particular period with as-planned data, retrospective window, or time slice. So this is the classification provided by RICS. Without much details, they didn't go deeply in details how to implement each approach. They only classified the approaches and mentioned the major approaches from their perspective. And here they added the factors to which method you are going to adopt or select based on the terms of the contract. It's a key item. It's mentioned in the contract. Cannot go to another approach. Type of works being undertaken, nature of the delay, information available, and timing of the analysis. You need to have a quick analysis, or you need to go for a long time, and there is a long allowed time for the analysis. You can go to a more detailed approach. For the records and sources of data, and the extension of time claim, we use all types of data, all documents in the project, starting from the contract, the program, subcontract programs, the updates, go to the site records, all records, minutes of meeting, progress reports, videos, photos, going to the project documents, drawings, instructions, claim related, of course, if there are notices, bill of quantities, RFIs, any document related to the delay we can use, even the BIM, if we have BIM records, or 4D, we are using 4D or something we can use in the delay analysis. So any document or correspondence related to the delay event can be source of data, and it can be used in the delay analysis or extension of time claim. Now we'll go to the classification of the main references. We discussed the international approaches all over the world, or the key references, how they are classifying the delay analysis approaches. Now we will go to the main references we'll use on the contract. And as I see, ACE solved this confusion of the terminology and types of the methods and categories of the methods and delay analysis approaches. And they made a very clear and direct classification with all implementation protocol, validation protocol, with all steps and enhancements we can use to apply these approaches. And they did this in 2 recommended practices: 52 R06, the prospective time impact analysis as applied in construction. And for the retrospective analysis approach, used the forensic schedule analysis recommended practice 29 R03. In 29 R03, in this recommended practice, they added some, can say, validation protocols and enhancements we can use even in the time impact analysis. So at the end of the course, you can use the time impact analysis with the forensic schedule analysis, enhancements, and validations. So we can add also how to combine both recommended practices together to apply the time impact analysis at the most required or implemented approach in the delay analysis, to apply prospectively to move in light. Everybody or the employer and contractor, they know their entitlement and the completion date. We'll have real examples and we'll apply it in assignments by ourselves during the course. After the recommended practice of ACE, we'll discuss the legal perspective from Society of Construction Law Delay and Disruption Protocol. How ACE classified these delay analysis approaches and why I consider the most appropriate or the best classification in this regard. They classified it to prospective delay analysis, as we said, the time impact analysis, and retrospective forensic schedule analysis. The prospective has 8 steps. So this includes 8 steps. Briefly, to select the appropriate update you will use in the analysis, it should be the most recently update prior to the event. We'll call it unimpacted schedule. And then we insert a modeled fragment into the schedule, check the logic and duration, recalculate the critical path method, and measure the impact. We'll see in details with the full 8 steps how to implement this approach. The other recommended practice is the forensic schedule analysis, started with classification and principles, source validation, how to validate the sources, program's source of data as the planned program or as built program, method implementation, an implementation protocol for each approach, analysis evaluation to determine quantify the delay and determine the entitlement in terms of excusability and compensability, and choosing the method. Here is the classification of the forensic schedule analysis. And as I said, it includes also the prospective, and I'll tell you now where it lies in this classification or taxonomy. First, they classified the retrospective approaches to observational and model. It can be easy or understandable for everybody to have a modeled approach. You have a program, you run the program, you get a difference in dates, you measure it, then you can determine the entitlement. But the observational, it's not like this. You have a program, planned program, and as-built program or actual records, and then you are comparing it without adding, without running the program. You are comparing and analyzing. You can do it in a tabular method with a table and the details and the variances and what are these variances. Is it critical or not critical? Is it concurrent or not concurrent? And then you add it event by event or duration by duration until you finalize your analysis and get a result without running a program, without adding or subtracting from the program. So the observational examining the schedule itself without the changes. You are not changing the schedule. You are not adding or subtracting from the schedule. But the modeled approach is representing delay events in the schedule. You add them to the schedule or subtract from the schedule. In the observational, under the observational, there are 2 classifications: static logic and dynamic logic. Static logic, you are comparing only 2 programs, the as planned and as built. In the dynamic logic, you are comparing the updates. You are using the updates for this comparison. So while you are using the updates, why is it called dynamic? Because in the updates, you'll see the change in the logic, the change in the critical path. These changes will make it dynamic. It's not dynamic. Here, you need to differentiate between the word dynamic and modeled. Here, dynamic, it's mainly because if you see the changes in the logic, not you are not running also the program. The model classified to additive and subtractive. Additive, you have a program and adding a fragment to it, adding subset of activities to this program and running the program. Subtracting, you are simulating a program, and then you are subtracting and removing activities from the program and running it again, and checking how the network will run and what will be the consequences. Under this, they added many classifications, like the static growth or periodic. You're comparing only two programs, but total comparison or in periods. The dynamic, you have the updates done in its time on the project, contemporaneous updates, or you are reconstructing the updates with the actual data. In the additive, you are adding to only a baseline or only one update or to multiple updates. In the subtractive, you are doing single simulation or multiple simulation with subtracting the activities related to the event from the program in single or multiple times. And then we'll see all these details in the coming lectures. But we can see here they are doing this taxonomy or classification to solve the problem of the common names. Because the common names in the market, people are applying different approaches under the same name. If we will go here and see the Windows analysis, as it is a trendy and everybody's saying I'm applying the Windows analysis, you can ask him, how are you applying it? Are you applying it observational static or model the additive or model subtractive? You can find Windows analysis here under the observational static. You can find it here under the observational dynamic as well. You can find it here under the model the additive. There is window analysis. You can find in the model subtractive. So in the market, in the common names, the people are applying Windows analysis with different approaches, and all of them are calling it Windows analysis. So they want here to fix or going out of this confusion in the market and doing a clear classification for the delay analysis approaches using this taxonomy. You can find everything like here time impact analysis in the observational and also in the modeled. In the subtractive, it is in the market, as we saw also in the references we opened in the beginning of the lecture. There are many classifications, and it's not clear on all references how to implement these approaches. Here we'll open the ACA recommended practice to see clearly the steps of implementing each approach. And as you see, these are the main references of the course. Up to now, I finished the introduction and the classification. And if there is any question, you can drop in the chat box or raise your hand. In the upcoming lectures, we'll go in details in all these references one by one. Starting from ACA recommended practice to site of construction law to the full lecture to the concurrent delay and approaches of delay analysis of the concurrent delay and how to prepare a full extension of time claim. Okay, Engineer Walid, can open the mic.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Now, I have one case if the contractor already on delay. And after that, the project suspended due to security reasons. Okay, when we go to analyze this delay or to make analysis for this delay, there is concurrent delay in this case. In the first, there is a concurrent delay, and also regarding to this suspended due to security reason, for the contractor, he have a right to claim for the time and cost or just time for this case?
It was a full suspension?
Yes.
Yes, the contractor, if it's a full suspension, the contractor, it was only an employer delay event in this duration. The contractor can claim for the actual cost, the additional cost and additional actual cost it incurred in this time. So they can claim for this compensation. At the same time, the contractor, after you resume the work and complete the project, the contractor is delayed at the end after the extension of time, more than the extension of time, the contractor also will be subject to LDs, to liquidated damages. So here you cannot say it's concurrent because at the duration of the suspension, there was no delay from the contractor. The delay of contractor, it happened before the suspension. Okay? Clear? Any other question? For any question related to the registration, you can approach Frontiers to know how to register to the course or enroll into the course. Okay, Engineer Barak. Can you raise your hand so I can open the mic for you? Or you can type the question here in the chat box as you like. Any question related to these classifications? Is it new for you or everybody aware of some of these classifications or all of them? We can hear also from you. No raise hand. There is a need to check how to find it because I cannot find you and open the mic for you from here.
Engineer Parikh, you can find the raise hand option in an option called reaction.
I think I opened the mic.
However, I opened the mic for you.
Oh.
You can ask right now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Yeah, thanks for unmuting me. I usually find it just an icon, just called raise a hand. It's new for me in reaction. So thank you for that briefing on delay classifications. If I need to analyze and tracking delays as activities for the critical path to take an indicator that this project will be delayed at the end. In which common names I can find that that type of delay analysis?
If you are analyzing it in perspective, the event occurred, but it's the delay itself didn't finish. Or you go?
Yeah.
So it's simply you go to the if it's perspective, you simply go to the recommended practice of this prospective time impact analysis?
Oh, so it's prospective as the project wasn't finished.
Yes, and you need to check the projected completion date or the entitlement, and the delay event only occurred, but the effect didn't finish yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I
time
just
impact
need to track the delayed activities and to check if it's going to affect on the project design finishing date.
So you directly go to the prospective time impact analysis
Okay, thank you.
and
Thank you very
implement
much.
the 8 steps as per the ACE recommended practice 52R06.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome. We have Engineer Yusuf. I saw somebody else, Abdul Jabbar from our. Okay. Okay, Engineer Yusuf.
Yes, hi, Engineer Muhammad. Thank you very much for your what you are learning us. My question now, I have case in my project that in the beginning there is notice to proceed, or let's say that commencement date for the project. Okay, so in my project to start this commencement date, we as a contractor we need to make a financial closure with the client to give us the notice to proceed. Okay, so in that case the client did not give us notice to proceed. They delayed. Okay, the client.
Okay.
But what they said to us, they said to us, okay, you can proceed work at site. They give us building permit exception. Then we start excavation, and until now we did not get notice to proceed. So my question, I need to now to make a claim. So my question, I have to make a claim like without update what I did, or with the update inside the project. يعني already I start excavation, for example, and already I finished some activities in the program. But until today, we did not get notice to proceed.
Okay, you didn't get notice to proceed, so the commencement date is not set yet.
Yes, it's not sent yet. So my question, if the client came to me and said to me, okay, no, you start already, I give you exception. So my question, my right to tell him no, I will consider myself did not start excavation, or I will say to him, okay, yes, you're right.
Well, if you commenced it and they got permit and access to everything, so you commenced the project. Yeah, you cannot say I didn't commence because I didn't get notice to proceed. You need to go to the contractual provisions and to
Yeah, in the contract, yes, I will tell you. In the contract, there is already there is a program, high level, that there is relationship in the contract that after to give me commencement date or notice to proceed, I will start excavation contractually.
Yes, I see. But you need also to go to the contract and check the other provisions, if the provision of the notice to proceed and the provision of the commencement and the duration of the project. You need to check these provisions, the full detail, all details and the language and the terminology there in these provisions in the contract. And as you started the work, you started the work. If they can give you access and start the work until they send a notice to proceed, and from when you calculate the
Yeah.
commencement
Yes.
date and the project duration, the time for completion. And also have another thing. You have, if it will be calculated from the notes to proceed, then the project duration is extended. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you may claim for compensation for the premiums, indirect cost
Yes,
for
but
this
the
regard.
client, yeah, but the client I need to tell you something, please. But the client did not give us money related the excavation. We give the subcontractor from ourselves as a contractor. We give money or we يعني we spend on
Why they are
these.
not issuing payments? Why they are not?
Yeah,
يعني
because the financial closure after the financial closure of the client, because he will get money from the bank. So after finish this financial closure, then he can start to give us money related the actual progress
I
with
see.
commencement date.
I see it's the financial claim more than an extension of time claim. Yeah, really, it is because the
Yeah.
time you can. يعني, also, you need to check the clauses in the contract. If you can you're not getting paid, so you can suspend the work, or you can get extension disregard. So have a different
in the
event
contract
if you're not
in
getting
the
paid.
contract in the contract mentioning clear that after the financial closure, well, you can end the money like this.
Okay, but you are not. You don't have to start the work, but you commenced the work. Why you commenced the work? Why you started?
Because under our risk, we said to them, okay, we will start the
So
work,
it's
but under our risk.
under your risk, and now you are going to claim. You
No,
took the
we will
risk.
claim. No, okay. If now happens something like they said to us, okay, we will not continue the project or something like this, and who will pay the excavation work and like this? So we the lose
A
one
quantum merit.
because under risk.
It will be like a quantum merit claim. So as I told you, it's a financial claim more than a time extension of time claim.
Ah. Okay, I think I don't know. I think is our rights that because you did not give us money related to activity what we finished until now, so we need to make extension of time from the commencement date as we did not start. Yani, we will consider ourselves we did not start. I don't know, to be honest. Yani,
I
just
told you at this time you did some work, and you have also some indirect cost. So it's not easy to
yes.
decide like this.
Okay, okay. So, okay, to be honest, it's under negotiation and we don't know how it will go.
Negotiation is the best solution.
Yes, it's complicated. But thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, Tatasio or Sotesta. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
I have one question regarding delay analysis. The one project is there. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. Okay. The one project is there. The initially project duration was for the 2 years. Currently, project has extended more than 2 years. That means now it's around 4 years. Initially, the contractor submits the baseline program and one more update only. During these times, there were some delays, concurrent delays, employer responsible delays, contractor responsible delays, those delay events and project is going on. But now need to do a delay analysis to identify the actual completion date. But we don't have the updated programs. Only we have baseline program and one program which have updated after 6 months. The available programs are not relevant to the actual progress at all. What are the delay analysis techniques we can use for such a kind of situation to identify the completion date or analyze the completion date?
Okay, it depends on the complexity of the case, and so if you need to go to the updates and reconstruct the updates, so you will go to the some of the approaches here. You can find it's reconstructed updates. If you don't have updates, you reconstruct them or you create these updates. You get the baseline, you add the progress for different durations. If this is required to analyze the case, if it's not required, you can use the baseline itself. It's based on the case and the complexity of the case and the events. So you can use the baseline, you can reconstruct the updates if it is required. You can make some validations to the baseline to be valid and to be appropriate to add the event and to analyze the delay. If it is irrelevant right now, you can make some changes and validations to the baseline to be appropriate to do the analysis. Even during making the analysis, you can apply these changes or validations to get a reasonable output or a reasonable results from the program. Because one of the key things in the delay analysis is to have a reasonable output. After all of these analysis, after in many cases or some cases, even in UK, after they called an expert and the expert did detailed delay analysis and submitted different reports to the court rejected all these reports because if it's not reasonable and it doesn't go with the common sense. So you need to prepare a solid program or appropriate program to give you an appropriate results or can say it is reasonable or common sense results. Either you are doing it baseline or you are reconstructing updates. This is my advice.
Okay. Okay. After reconstruction only, we can identify who is responsible for each delay events. Until that, we cannot tell.
Responsibility is something else. The responsibility is based on the contract and the risk allocation of the contract. After the responsibility, you will see the impact of this event. This event is causing what delay and quantifying the delay caused, the critical delay, because the entitlement would be the critical delay caused by each event. Then you consolidate them and combine all of this analysis together and check the concurrency and the entitlement in terms of excusability and the compensability.
Okay. Okay. Then we have to identify using the daily records, progress reports to identify the actual completion date for each events, start date and completion date. Based on that, we have to modify and reconstruct the baseline program. Then we can identify who has responsible the dose delay. Is that correct? Or
actual will not be actual unless the project is completed. If the project is completed, we call it projected or forecasted. And the projected or forecasted completion date is different from the entitlement. Maybe the contractor is entitled only for 3 months, but the project is delayed 6 months. So you need to go in details, to the details of the case and analyze it.
Okay. As an example, let's say that phase 1 and phase 2 like that is project is going before 28 days prior to the completion of phase 1, employee is responsible to issue the drawings. In this case, phase 1 has delayed, and as per the baseline, phase 1 has delayed, and employer designed for the phase 2 also delayed. But I think when reconstructing, we have to identify when phase 1 has delayed and whether employee has provided the design for phase 2 20 days prior to the phase 1. If phase 1 delays let's assume that it's a contractor responsible delay. Then employee have time 28 days prior to the which date that contractor has completed the phase 1. Is it clear to you? Like
Yes,
that we have to
and
reconstruct, I think.
and is the delay of the contract of the employer critical or not critical? It comes on a path with a total float, and it's not critical and it's not affecting the completion date or affecting the completion date.
We will see that is affecting and critical.
Yeah.
Then we have to reconstruct it like that way. I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Almost like this. Okay. Thank you. Any other question? I believe Engineer Muhammad Hussein added to the chat box the links and the details of registration. And see you in the next week in the next session. It will be only for the registered and the enrolled trainees. We will go in details for the definition of the delay and the details of the delay analysis. And then session by session, we'll go through the main references as discussed of these recommended practices of ACE and with real cases and assignments, and also the Society of Construction Law protocol, concurrent delay, and preparing a full extension of time claim. Thank you, and see you in the next session. Thank you.